Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 2 Week 15. So I'm going to jump right into geography. So our geography this week is going to be on our world map because we're working with part of Asia. However, it is very tiny. So the Turkey, Cyprus, Syria, Iraq, Iran is also on your Europe map. They're just not labeled. So if you have a younger class that has a hard time finding smaller locations, you may want to label them on your Europe map and use that side just so it's bigger and they can find them a little easier. We are on the world side because it's part of Asia and not part of Europe, but they're just pretty tiny on the world side, especially if you're using a trivium table. So just a thought there. For my class, I think we'll just work on finding them. And again, we're gonna go over, we're not really close to a ton of things that we've talked about this year, but we are close to the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. So we'll talk about those, and we'll talk about the Caucasus Mountains that are right there, and all of those features we will be working around, but we're not working around a ton of our other geographical features. However, we will be on the world side of the map, so it might be a good time to go over the Strait of Magellan, the Treaty of Tordesillas, and all of those locations that we don't always hit when we are on the Europe side. So I will review all of those with them as well while on this side of the map. As far as introducing the geography, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with it, and we'll go over, find all the locations initially, and then I'll kind of do a quick, okay, find Syria, and we'll point to Syria, and then find Iraq, and find Iraq. But anytime I say Turkey, they have to go gobble, 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 and gobble like a turkey. And then anytime I say Iran, they have to take their feet and do fast feet on the floor. So we'll just do a kind of like that, and I'll just try to kind of surprise them by saying one of those, let them find it on the map, and make whatever motion or sound is supposed to go with it, just to make geography a little more fun for my older kids. Again, it is on the side, it's just really tiny. So if you go to your Europe map, it's right here and it's much easier to find. So just a thought. Moving on from geography, we'll go to Latin. So we are in the imperfect tense, and we remember that because a bomb going off makes everything imperfect, and we have bomb, spot, spont. So I will chant those, remind my kids of our memory device with that, and then we'll chant through them. And usually with my class, we just chant through them while we're putting our geography away because it's pretty simple, and they have had these twice already in previous semester, and I have a few that are going for Memory Master, so they already know them pretty well. But we'll chat with them a few times while we are doing that. If you are doing this and you want to do it as more of a focus and you want to spend more time doing it, I would have them do a bomb, spot, bomb, spot, I would have them do some type of thing like that because it has a nice rhythm for it, and have them do something like that, or you could have them squat down, chant it, and then explode at the end like a bomb. So those are my two ideas for maybe the younger ones. Then we will move on into math. So for math this week, we have our metric measurements, kind of similar to last week, except that we have on one side, we have 10, 100, 1,000, and the other side is 111 as far as our equation. So it's a little easier to remember than our inches and feet and all of that. So we do have kilometers on this, so I will just remind them that last week we did also have that word, and it's 5/8 of a mile is 1 kilometer. So 1,000 meters would be 5/8 of a mile, just to kind of connect those two for them. I will either, depending on how much time I have, and I feel like I'm gonna have, I will probably have the class pair up, and they will have papers with the different 10 millimeters and 1 centimeter and all those all mixed together, and I'll let them match them up really fast. If I have a little more time, I might hand them out individually and have them have to find the person that they match with. So just to kind of get them up and get them moving, do something a little different for that. So that's what we will do for math. For English, I have, again, the oldest class this year. They're not going into Challenge A like my class last year, so they're still youngish. My son, I think, is the youngest one in class, and he's still 9. So, but they are all in essentials. So English is kind of, we're going to be a review for them because they learned all of these 4 purposes of a sentence in essentials early in the year. So they know them pretty well, but it's a good time to kind of remind ourselves of what those are. So our hand motions are going to declarative, like you're declaring something. And then we have exclamatory, and then interrogatives. Interrogatives are asking questions. Interrogative, and then imperative, because imperatives are commands. So go learn the 4 purposes of a sentence. So that's what we will do. We'll just go over those a few times. I think those work well for the kids too. You could have them like stand up for declarative, jump for exclamatory, squat down like they're thinking for interrogative, and then step forward and like point at something for imperative if you want to add a little more movement in there for those younger kids. Then we will go to, let's see, science. Science, I flung my rubber band, hold on. It flew up in my hand. So for science, we have kinetic and potential energy. And I'm gonna do these I'm gonna do it backwards from when it lists. I'm gonna do potential and then kinetic. So I'm gonna give everybody a rubber band. If my class is being good, they may get more than 1 rubber band. And if they're not being good, they may get no rubber bands. We'll see. But everyone will get a rubber band. So when the rubber band is pulled back, this is potential. And then when the rubber band is let go and shot across the room, that's kinetic. That's energy being expended. So we have potential and then kinetic. So I will let them have potential and kinetic rubber bands for science, and we'll talk about those. It's a short list, so it's kind of easy to go over. So I'll let them shoot these a few times. And then they'll collect their rubber band or bands, depending on how it's gone, and we'll go into history. So for history, I'm going to divide my class into 2 sides, the Allies and the Central Powers. And I'm going to have 1 kid represent a country. So I'll have 3 on one side, Great Britain, France, and Russia. 2, potentially 3, it depends on if I have everybody there. If I have everybody there, then I will have 1 person be Austria and 1 person be Hungary, and they'll just have to like link arms together. And then I'll have 1 person be Germany. And then if everybody's not there, then I'll have an Austria-Hungary 1 person, and then someone else will be the United States, and they'll stand by me until we get to that part. So Great Britain, France, and Russia will be on our ally side. Austria, Hungary, and Germany will be on the Central Power side of our room. And I will let them use their rubber bands and fight, so they can shoot the rubber bands across the room. And then after they shoot, I'll let the United States go over and shoot their rubber bands because they have joined the allies. So letting them divide up like that and shoot, we will say the history sentence and listen to the song, and then I will let them, while listening to the song 1 time, act it out. So I just find with, especially this last part of cycle 2, where there's so many names and so many countries, and especially you go from World War I into World War II, and you add in some different players and people move to different sides. For me, being able to like remember physically where I was or where whoever was and who they were, the visual of all of that is very helpful for me. So, and it's a fun one to act out. So we will be acting it out with our rubber bands for that. Okay, for timeline, we have Japan. So we're gonna make like a crescent shape with our fingers. So Japan's isolation, and they're just over here hanging out by themselves. So just 1 finger kind of rotating around over here. Then we have Jamestown and Plymouth Colony founded. So Jamestown, they were looking for gold. So we're gonna make this sign for gold. And then we're gonna do Plymouth, which is the Pilgrims. So we're gonna make P's, and we're gonna outline their big white collars that they wore. It's a Plymouth Colony, and then they were founded. So Jamestown and Plymouth Colony founded. And then we have Age of Enlightenment. So we're gonna go like this because this was an age of thinking. They were just thinking about a lot of things. So Age of Enlightenment. And then we have Hudson. We're gonna make an H, just 2 fingers, just kind of pointing the other direction. So Hudson's Bay Company, we're gonna take our other hand and have our thumb like this. We're gonna make a B with our hand that we were making H with, and we're gonna take that hand and kind of line like this. This is supposed to show like this is land and this is water and this is a bay, a B for bay. So Hudson's Bay Company. And then we have the First Great Awakening, so eyes closed and open. And then we have Classical Period of the Arts. The classical period was very orderly. Everything was neat and in a row. So we're just gonna sign. This is the sign for order. And then we have the 7 Years' War. So 7 is gonna be your ring finger attached to your thumb like this. 7 Years' War. So we're gonna go back and forth like that, just like we do for all the other wars. So I'll do those one more time. I know sometimes I go through them a little quickly. So we have Japan's isolation, Jamestown and Plymouth colony founded, Age of Enlightenment, Hudson's Bay Company, First Great Awakening, Classical Period of the Arts, the 7 Years' War. So it's timeline. I think I did everything. I always am worried that I have forgotten something, but I think I did them all. So I will be back soon with weeks 16, 17, 18. And hopefully you guys are having a great first semester. Weather's good. Everybody's well. That's what I am praying for all of us for this third quarter. See you guys soon. Bye.